Hello. So here we are for the vocal ensemble video tutorial. And I think theoretically this is the last one we need. So cross your fingers. This one's a little hard to do because they're all different. So what I've got is I've got the designs for 14, though it looks like now we only need 13, but that allows us to not do one of them. Give us a little more choice. I'm going to kind of go through really quick. They're all very different. Some are male, some are female. The key to these, number 2, is going to be in the color choices and in simplicity. So even the intricate ones we need to be able to do quickly, but we are only doing them once. So make the needed changes you need to make on yours according to your conscience and ability. And know that we're not going to have to do it twice, but we really want these kids to feel good about it at the same time. So don't simplify it to the point that it's just lines and stripes. I'd like each one to be unique and beautiful, but we do not have the time to agonize over it. So you can kind of get an idea of the basic techniques that you're going to need to do these, and then I'm going to cover one of the more complicated ones right here. While talking about the things that are similar. I do not have steps on these, so it is important that you watch the basic tutorial to know the basic steps. Now there's only a few colors that we're using. We're using red, yellow. Well, let me show you in the thing. So we have this palette we're using. We have these colors that we're using. These are water activated colors. These are cream colors that need extra powder on them. We've got one Ben Nye green, which is good because we don't have a whole lot of green, and I think green is a good one for us to be using. Then we've got one blush that we're all going to have to share, but I know you guys are the sharing kind. It's also the same one that the lionesses have, so if we're doing vocal ensemble and we finish the lionesses, we can borrow that one too. And then I've got one eyeshadow here that's a red, and most of the eyes are going to be whatever color goes with the color scheme, but for those who are using red, the powder will probably be easier to stay on than the cream, though these water activated work pretty well with that too if you let them dry before your cast member closes their eyes. So quick overview of the pros and cons of each. These work really well. They go on beautifully, they blend beautifully, but they do need extra powder or else they're shiny. And one thing that we have had some success doing is actually mixing the powder with the color either on your arm or on a plate. And that helps it stay better. You don't have to put powder on top of it as much. So that's a good way to do it. Again, we only have to use this once, so we don't have to worry about overusing the colors. Let me see what else. The water activated goes on very nicely, but you do have to water activate it. I highly recommend if we're there a few minutes early on the day of the vocal ensemble, you can play with the different paints on your arms so you can kind of see and make choices and make sure you've got brushes that you like. We're short on enough brushes for everybody to have everything they want. We're going to have to share and just be good to one another, but we do have enough brushes, I think, to do this. All right, so I'm going to start. So our basic colors are red, and that's going to be the red in this palette. The blue, the dark blue only. There's a dark blue, there's a purple, and there's a light blue. Just the dark blue we're sticking. We want to keep these colors very congruent with one another. The green, which we've also got here. The yellow. There's another yellow in the other one, and those yellows are slightly off. I know one's more of a mustard, one's more of a yellow. But in the case of the yellow, I'm not going to be too picky. Kind of look at your kid's skin tone. The lighter skin tones do better with the more mustardy color. The darker skin tones go better with the water-activated lighter color. So we've got red, yellow, blue. Then we have the brown here. You may also use the browns that you can find in the animal pod if we need to. They're close enough. They're not perfect for those of you with really good ability to see shades. Yes, they are not exactly the same, but because they're on different people, they're close enough. Black here again, or in the pod, or there is a water activated. All those blacks are very close. Green, or this green. Please stick with those. There is one in the water activated palette, but it's pretty light. I'd like to use that only in emergency, please. And then the orange. And the orange actually here is not fabulous. If we could use the water activated orange most of the time, that would be great. Again, though, this is a good backup. It's a lot lighter, and I'm not sure it'll come across as a pure orange. So the one I'm going to show you, because it is the most intricate, and I think the way we're going to choose who does what in these is that it's going to be first come, first serve. You come on the day of vocal ensemble, you get there nice and early, you pick which ones you want. And we'll start with 2 each, and then we'll have some others sitting there, and we'll do just the best we can. So I think I have 1 or 2 people that are just vocal ensemble. They can start with 3. Okay. So this one, as you can see, is a little bit more intricate. This is a male look. I have male and female, and I hope I have enough of, I hope I have the right number of each. A lot of the female would look just as good on a guy. I just tried to make them a little bit more masculine-y. So if you look at that for just a second, you've got the chin aspects, you've got the eye aspects, and then you've got the eyeshadow, and you've got the cheeks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on every one of our ensemble. We're going to start with some cheek. So, well, make sure they've got their foundation on, and I am currently pretty sure that no one's going from something else to vocal ensemble, but that is not necessarily true. I think Mufasa might be moving. I'm having trouble opening this. And there may be some others. There's still some things up in the air, but if they are changing from something else to this, make sure that they put a new set of foundation on. And the first thing we're going to do is just their cheeks. Just have them smile. We're all having the same cheeks. We just want to make sure that they look healthy, not nasty under the lights. Oh, my light just went out. Let me fix that. Okay. Anytime my computer goes off, the light goes off, so I might have to do that once or twice more. There's extra red on here from when I did the Grassland Dancers. It just doesn't want to come off, so don't think that that's what I want it to look like. I just want a little bit of the cheeks done there. Then you want to go to the eyeshadow. In this one, it shows a brown. I think for now, for purposes, I'm just going to choose to do the red because it's right here and easy. And so on the guys, you're just going to cover the lid. You don't want it to go much beyond that, and you don't want to have the wing. For the gals, I would like a wing. Make them look exotic, but nothing too glammy. Just a simple wing. Brighten their eyes a bit. So that's your basic. I also would like a little bit of white under the eye and under the brow. Just the very, very simple. Man, I am having trouble opening things today. Okay. Just take a little of the white and brush it under the eyes. We just want these eyes to pop. And then blend it in. We don't want it too small. We really do want it to help their eyes pop. But then you can use a Q-tip. Your finger, especially if it's your own kid, you can use your finger. As you know, we've had some issues with people being concerned about some of the safety precautions, so we really do need to be diligent about sanitizing things and making sure these kiddos are not just safe, but that people looking on would perceive them as safe. Okay, the other would be just a little bit of white under the brow. Don't worry about over the brow. Just need under the brow. Nice light little under the brow coverage. Okay. It's easier when you have someone that actually has a brow. All right. So the next part of my pattern, a lot of this comes down to what you're comfortable with. For this right now, I am going to go ahead and do the orange dots. So I'm going to start with a bigger dot. And one thing we haven't done a lot of is big versus small dots. And so that's something we get the opportunity to use in some of these designs. Here's the big dot using this side of it. And then I get to use the other side for the little dots. And I chose this design not just because it's a little more complicated, but because it utilizes several of the different techniques. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So we're trying to make them symmetrical as much as we can. That's more important than perfection, really, is to try and get them to be somewhat the same. And yet, there's only so much we can do. Okay. So those dots there. Then I'm going to add my purple. So for my purple, I'm going to use a smallish angled brush. This one has angles on both sides. But I'm going to use the technique that we've used with the zebras, where you kind of use the brush itself to make the shape, the zebras and the gazelles. And I'm going to use a blue with this. So, honey, I'm doing something. So just give me a minute, okay? Okay, so you're going to use this blue, and you're going to start like this, and then twist it to create this little teardrop kind of to the side. And for this one, we are going to do, I did it the wrong way too. All right, well, we're going to rewind that because it's supposed to go inward toward the nose. So we'll just kind of erase that there. For you perfectionists, sorry. Yeah, okay. So we're going to do it the other direction. We're going to start it here and have it like that. There, that was actually a little easier to do. And I've got 3 of these here, so I'm just kind of space it out in a way that will allow for 3. Okay, I've got 3 on that side. Now I'll do 3 on the other. Again, not perfection, but trying to kind of keep them somewhat like one another. It's a little harder to angle with my hand on this side, especially while holding her. But I will not need to hold the children. They will most likely keep themselves somewhat still. There we go. Okay, so we've got those 4. Then the only other things are down below. So we'll get back on that orange track, and I'm going to do a triangle. Again, we wanted to make this look really good, but we also want it to go somewhat quickly because there's a lot of these to do. So kind of turn that in there. We've got that. Then we've got 2 more of these little thingies, but they're going backwards, so we're starting here. Going down that way. Doing the same thing on the other side. Okay, and then we've got those little teeny dots again, only this time it's going to be in the blue. And that's going to be just kind of on the edges of this part here. So you can see all these different techniques that we have at our disposal. And then this one is done. And like I said, I'd really prefer that other orange. I think there's an orange over here, right? Yes. But I didn't want to use it right now. Okay, so there's one of our basic looks. So the foundational is the same. Blush. They've got to put their own lips on. The eyeliner for the girls will come out. On the boys, it won't. So we want all those basic things. White under the eyes, under the brow. And then we do our pattern. The patterns need to look good, but we don't want to spend a ton of time on them. So they're all going to look a little tribal, and that is it for the vocal ensemble. I'm not going to go through and do all of them. Like I said, that would take me all day. But you can kind of go back to the beginning of this and look at the different ones that I showed. If you want me to assign you some, then just text me or email me, and I will send you 2 or 3, depending on what your assignments are. I'd be happy to do that, and then you can try with your own makeup at home, whatever, to practice it. That is up to you. All right, love y'all. Bye.